Good morning. I've just finished servicing my bait pump and changing over the new washers that I made. I just made another batch up. That's them there. Just waiting for them to cure. They look a bit messy there, but once they come out of the mould, they come out looking quite good actually, and they do really work well. But a while ago, I put a poll out asking if I was going to do a giveaway on a bait pump, what would you rather have, copper or stainless steel? Now I know what I'd rather have. I'd rather have the copper than the stainless steel. One, because when I'm pumping, you can see, and I've said it in all my videos, is like that's the depth that I tend to go, which is like say 9 or 10 inches. But when you're going in and out the sand all the time, you get a marker. So you know when you're pushing it in that you're nearly there. Because I get people ask me when they're out bait pumping, some of them are shallow, some of them are deep, and all I've ever said to them is get used to digging at one depth, and instead of trying to hunt for them, you know, like trying different depths all the time, just going at one depth. You'll get the worms in the end, but you might just have to pump a few more holes. But with copper, you've got that guide that you can actually see how deep you're actually going. With stainless, it being hard wearing, and you don't get no marker indicator, and that's what I don't like about the stainless. It's lovely and smooth, and it's definitely a lot tougher than the copper. But anyway, so looking at the pole, the stainless steel pump won. So with all the spare bits that I've got kicking around, and a few bits that a few of my mates have given me, like the stainless steel pipe, I said that I'd make a pump that I'd give away just to say thank you. I'm not after subscribers. This is just me saying thank you to everyone that like comes to my channel, post. But this is my way of saying thank you. So I'm just going to show you how I build this pump, and this will be the pump that I send off to whoever wins the competition. Let's say best of luck to all of you. That's if you want to enter. You don't have to enter, but if you do, good luck. So this is the shaft that's made. So my friend John, what I do is I get him to weld an M6 nut on the end, and then what I do is I grind it down. Now if you have a close look, you can see where it's a little bit fatter, but not a lot, and you wouldn't know that's been welded on there. He does a good job, so thanks John. So obviously that's the shaft. That's 1 metre long. I've just made the handle. Now we'll make a start on getting this pump built. So for our top cap, this is the very top of the pump. This is what we normally use. We normally have like a 28mm hole cutter, which is what the internal dimensions of that is. And then so we end up with something like that. 28mm with a 10mm hole inside, cut out. But because the chopping board's 12mm, what my friend does, he chops it in half, so we get two of these for the price of one. And once that's cleaned up, that fits inside it. Now you don't have to do it tight. Move that away. That's your top tee. That's inside there, so that's it there. All this has to be just hand tight. You haven't got to crank that up at all. That's as tight as it's going to be. Then what we're going to do is slide our shaft in there. If I get it in, yeah, it's through. So that's our handle and the top part of the bait pump. We'll slide our bit of plastic tubing on. That just stops the pump being pulled through. So I'll show you when I've got the silicone on there. But so obviously that's inside there. That slides up and down the shaft at the moment. Now because this is longer, I put a locking nut on, but I put it on back to front, and then the washer sits on that a lot better. I mean, I could cut the thread down, but sometimes I'm always experimenting with different types of silicone, so I want to try and keep it to a certain length, so I've got a bit of room to play. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'll tighten that right down to the very end, Okay, so the nut's been wound right down as far as we can go. As you can see, because it's back to front, gives you a bit more of a wider base for your washer to set up against. So then we'll slide our A2 washers on there. They're stainless steel. Then we're going to get our silicone. These are the, as I say, these are the homemade ones. That should just pop straight on there. There you go, straight on there. And then we're going to go with a double washer just to fill it out a bit more. And then a 10mm nut. Right, so that's on. At the moment I'm not even going to bother tightening that down. That should be able to spin and move around, do whatever you want. Now this is the shaft, obviously. I'm going to put a little bit of wash out liquid in there. That'll be the only time I put some wash out liquid in, because these silicones don't seem to need it. Just lube the end up so that silicone sits in there nicely. Get that in there. Just slide straight in. Right, now before I do it, I'll pull that back out again so you can see. Now that's what's on inside the pump. So when you pull in this pump, you're pulling the shaft up. That sits there and it stops it getting jammed up inside the equal T there. So that's your shock absorber. Put that back in there again. Push that right up tight. Turn the handle over so you've got something for leverage when you're tightening it. And then we just crank her up as tight as you can. And there it is. Then the final bit. So this is the spanner that I take with me. For me it's a 10mm spanner. And then if you're wondering what that bit is on there, that's for when I'm out. I normally keep an axle on the back of my motor, so when the copper gets a bit battered and I have to trim it back, instead of chopping back an inch and then thinking, oh, I've got to run out of copper, all I do then is I pull that shaft down like that, take that off, put that on the shaft. That's now extended the end of the pump, so you can give it a couple more trims and you'll get a few more sessions out when you're bait pumping. So it's always handy to keep a bit of, for me that's what I do. It saves you keep having to renew the copper every couple of, you know, I do a week of digging, and by the end of the week or halfway through the week I'm normally at to trim the end of the pump up because it gets burred over. As you can see there, it's starting to get a little bit misshaped now, so I'll just trim it back. Get a few sessions out of that. Anyway, but this is the stainless steel pump. What I do is I'll nip it up a bit. I'll tighten that end up a little bit because I know it's pretty loose. As I said, you can do all the pressure testing here. Don't mean nothing. Get down the beach, do the adjustment, and that is, if anything, this is the most important part of the pump. Without a decent one of them on the end of your pump, you're just wasting your time and energy. But it really does make a difference. But that is the pump I'm going to give away. So all you need to do, if you want to take part, is just put a post up saying pump, and that's yours. When I do the draw, someone's going to be lucky enough to win it. So good luck to all of you. Thank you for watching.